If someone had asked me that morning how I pictured my daughter's wedding day, I would have said something simple, joyful, calm, elegant. I never imagined I'd be walking through the service corridor of my own luxury resort, pretending to be staff while real employees rushed around me, pushing carts filled with linens and humming vacuums. The Italian marble under my heels felt colder than usual. Like it knew I was keeping a secret. None of them realized the woman in a plain navy dress, the one trying not to get run over by a stack of towels, was actually the person signing their paychecks. I owned the entire Grand Milano resort. I had bought the chain just a month ago, quietly and without fanfare, the same way I'd built my company slow, steady, and smarter than people expected. First day, a kind-faced housekeeper asked when she saw me pause at the corridor junction. Something like that, I replied, touching the small pearl necklace around my throat. The same necklace I'd worn the day I finalized the acquisition papers. The wedding party's brutal, she whispered, lowering her voice. Especially that blonde woman in charge. Made 2 girls cry this morning. Ah yes, Vivian. My ex-husband's young trophy wife, the one who'd practically shoved me toward the service entrance earlier and chirped, "We can't have the help mixing with guests." She'd said it with her chin tilted high, her designer heels clicking across marble I actually owned. The irony would have been delicious if it wasn't my daughter's wedding day. I followed the sound of raised voices to the bridal suite. Through the cracked door, I saw Emma, my beautiful girl, standing in her gown, looking radiant even with tension tightening her smile. Vivian hovered behind her, straightening the veil while complaining. "I still think we should have gotten the Vera Wang," she sniffed. "This off-the-rack dress your mother picked is so budget." "It's perfect, Vivian," Emma said tightly. "Mom has great taste." "Great taste doesn't fix an empty bank account, sweetie. Thank goodness your father and I stepped in to give you a real wedding." Can you imagine if she planned it? Probably would have been in a community center. That was my cue. "The dress looks beautiful, honey," I said as I stepped inside. "Mom!" Emma rushed to hug me. "You're early." "Actually," Vivian cut in, "she's right on time for the pre-wedding cleaning inspection. Though, she really should be in uniform." I met Emma's eyes and saw the apology in them. She had fought hard for me to sit at the family table, but Vivian insisted it would confuse the guests. The door burst open. Mrs. Thompson, the wedding planner, looked like a tornado had hit her clipboard. "There's a problem with the venue payment," she said. All 5 cards were declined. Vivian's perfectly smooth forehead tried to wrinkle. "Impossible." Richard handled it. Richard. My ex-husband. The man who'd left 15 years ago claiming I was embarrassing him with my business goals. 6 months later, he married his secretary Vivian and left me to raise our daughter alone. While he played executive, I built my company from my living room, 1 client at a time. The cards were all declined, the planner repeated. "Every one." "This is ridiculous," Vivian snapped. "Do you know who my husband is?" "Richard Thompson, CEO of Thompson Industries." The same company I had been quietly buying shares of for the past decade, piece by piece, until the board on Monday would officially announce my controlling interest. But that could wait. "Mom," Emma whispered, eyes full of worry. "Please, don't let this ruin everything." I touched her cheek. "Nothing will ruin your day, sweetheart." I pulled out my phone. "Sandra?" "Yes, there's confusion about the Thompson wedding payment. Please clear it. And send up a bottle of the 1982 Krug for the bride." Moments later, the wedding planner received a call. Color drained from her face. "My apologies for the mistake. Everything is approved." Vivian smirked. "There, Richard fixed it. Actually, it was cleared by the owner's office," the planner said. "The owner?" Vivian laughed. "Richard knows him from the golf club." I had to bite back a smile. Richard once blocked me from joining that elite club. Now I owned it, along with half the properties in their portfolio. "Mom," Emma whispered, gripping my arm. "You didn't have to consider it part of my wedding gift," I said softly. Vivian's voice cut through the air. "If you're done with your inspection, you should go. We can't have the help lingering during photos." A knock interrupted her as a waiter entered with the champagne. From the owner's private collection, he announced, then saw me. "Oh, madam, I didn't realize you were here personally, madam." Vivian squeaked. "Just open it, Thomas," I said smoothly. "And make sure the 82 Krug is served at the family table tonight." "All the tables," Vivian sputtered. "That's $14,000 a bottle, is it?" I shrugged. "Well, it is a special occasion." The door swung open again. Richard stormed in, red-faced. "Why are the cards declining?" he barked at Vivian. "And why is there a rumor that Thompson Industries is being bought out?" He froze when he saw me. Time had not been kind to him, but the arrogance was the same. "What is she doing here?" "Oh, please," I said lightly. "Don't let me interfere with your plans. I'm only here to make sure everything is perfect for our daughter's big day." "What are you playing at, Sophia?" he growled. Before I could answer, Emma stepped between us. Glowing in her gown that Vivian believed was budget, yet it was actually handmade by one of Milan's finest ateliers. "Dad, Mom, please, just for today, no drama." "Of course, sweetheart." I touched her arm gently. "I should check on some details anyway. The owner likes things perfect." When I turned to leave, I caught the wedding planner whispering to Vivian. Vivian's tan seemed to drain right off her skin. The ceremony began soon after, beautiful, soft, everything Emma dreamed. Richard checked his phone every few minutes, getting paler each time. No doubt his news alerts were filled with rumors of a mysterious buyer quietly taking over Thompson Industries. At the reception, Vivian announced, "The photographer wants family photos. Perhaps you can direct guests while we take them." Emma looked ready to protest, but I gave her a small, calm nod. "Let them play a bit longer." While standing near the staircase, I spotted Marcus Chun, one of the country's top investment bankers, heading over with his wife. "We'd sat together at a CEO summit last month." "Sophia Martinez," Marcus said warmly. "Good to see you." Vivian froze mid-pose as Diana Eyre kissed my cheeks. Then Emma called out, "Mom, come join the photos." "Oh no," Vivian cut in quickly. "We wouldn't want to confuse the family structure." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Confuse people about the owner of the Marcus," I interrupted smoothly. "How about a drink? They're serving that rare whiskey you loved at my Tokyo hotel opening." Richard's head snapped toward me, his face turning green. The Tokyo Palace acquisition had made national headlines, and an anonymous buyer had outbid Thompson Industries. "Daddy?" Emma called across the marble hall. "Why is your assistant saying all the corporate cards are suspended?" "Just a glitch," Richard muttered. "I'll fix it by Monday." "Monday might be too late," I said casually, loud enough for them to hear. "I hear there's a major shareholder announcement scheduled for first thing tomorrow." The photographer was getting frustrated. "Sir, should we continue with the family photos?" "Actually," Marcus spoke up, "I believe the mother of the bride should be these, considering she owns this resort." I finished quietly. Among other things, the silence that followed was absolute. Even the string quartet stopped playing. Vivian recovered. "First, that's impossible. Richard would know if..." "What?" "Vivian, if the woman you've been treating like the help spent the last 15 years building an empire. If the embarrassing ex-wife with foolish business dreams now owns not just this resort, but the entire chain. Or perhaps you are more interested in who's been buying up Thompson Industries shares." Richard's knees actually buckled. A waiter, who clearly knew exactly who I was, smoothly appeared with a chair. "That's why the cards," he stammered, "are declining." I smiled. "Consider it a preview of Monday's board meeting, though I did ensure Emma's wedding expenses were covered." "I'm not completely heartless, Mom." Emma's voice was small. "Is this true?" I crossed to my daughter, straightening her veil. "I'm sorry for the drama, sweetheart. I planned to tell you after the honeymoon, though in my defense, they did sort of force my hand. With the seating arrangements, theating." Vivian's eyes darted to the kitchen where she'd insisted I be placed. "Oh God, don't worry," I assured her. "The staff entrance is actually quite lovely. I had it renovated last month, along with adding better break rooms and raising the minimum wage." Marcus was trying not to laugh. Sophia, you always did have a flair for the dramatic reveal. You knew? Richard rounded on him. You knew she was one-off. Most successful CEOs in the country. Marcus shrugged. Everyone in the actual business world knows who Sophia Martinez is. Though she does prefer to avoid society pages and charity galas to busy building her empire, I expect the photographer cleared his throat. Should I continue with the photos? Actually, Emma said firmly, I'd like a new arrangement. Mom front and center. And Vivian. Maybe you could help direct us to the reception since you're so good at giving directions. James, my new son-in-law, unsuccessfully tried to hide his grin. He'd known about my success for months, having accidentally run into him at a hospital board meeting where I was the major donor. Mrs. Martinez, the resort manager, appeared, looking nervous. The reception room is ready, and the chef wanted to confirm. Are we still serving the special menu you selected? Special menu? Vivian's voice was faint. Mom insisted on flying in her friend for the catering. Emma explained innocently. Some 3-star Michelin chef she knows from Paris. Richard looked like he might faint. 3-star, don't worry. I patted his arm as I passed. I'm sure you can expense the helicopter you arrived into your corporate account. Oh wait, I pretended to remember something. Perhaps not, but I hear the local tax service is quite reliable. As guests began moving toward the reception, he heard Vivian hiss at Richard. You said she was a nobody. You said she'd never amount to anything. That was the problem with Richard. I said loud enough for him to hear. He never could spot a good investment. Now, shall we celebrate my daughter's wedding? I believe they're reserving some rather expensive champagne. The 82 Krug, if I remember correctly. The look on their faces was worth every penny of the $14,000 per bottle price tag. But the real satisfaction would come tomorrow when Richard discovered Dexley, who would be running his precious company. The reception was in full swing, crystal chandeliers casting a warm glow over the embarrassed faces of Richard's family. They clustered in a corner, watching nervously as I moved through the crowd, accepting quiet congratulations from CEOs and business letters who would have flown in, especially for Emma's wedding. Did you see their faces when the Prime Minister's video message played? James whispered to Emma at the head table.
He thought Vivian was going to faint.
My daughter, radiant in her budget gown, squeezed his hand. I can't believe y'all kept Mom's secret all this time. Your mother, Richard's voice cut in as he approached our cable, has been playing quite the game. No, Richard, I corrected Millie. I've been building quite the empire. There's a difference. He slumped into an empty chair, looking defeated. Why didn't you tell me all these years? Tell you, I raised an eyebrow. Like when you told me my business plan was embarrassing. Or when you canceled our joint bank account because you didn't trust me with money. Or perhaps when you told the country club committee I wasn't sophisticated enough for membership. From across the room I saw the club scareman wheeze. He personally apologized last month when I acquired the property. I was wrong. Richard admitted quietly. Yes, you were. But that's not why I kept me success quiet. I wanted Emma to grow up understanding the value of hard work, not just inherited privilege. Something your new family never quite grasped. Speaking of which, Vivian was attempting to salvage her dignity by bragging about their summer home to some guests. Some home that as of next week would be listed as collateral against Thompson Industries' mounting debts. The board meeting tomorrow, Richard started, will proceed as planned. But don't worry, I'm not completely heartless. You'll be offered a position in the reorganization committee, a minor one, under supervision, but it should cover the mortgage on your significantly downsized lifestyle. Emma touched my arm. Mom, maybe we should. You're right, sweetheart. This is your wedding day. I stood tapping my glass for attention. I'd like to make a toast. The room quieted. Vivian tried to shrink bend a pillar. To Emma and James, may your marriage be built on love, respect, and the understanding that true worth isn't measured by bank accounts or social status. And may you always remember that success means nothing if you lose your humanity along the way. I paused, looking directly at Richard's family. And to those who judge others based on appearances, remember that the person you dismissed today might own your company tomorrow. Champagne glasses clinked as Emma hugged me tight. I love you, Mom, and I'm so proud to be your daughter. Even when they thought A was the help, especially then. Yao showed more class serving drinks than they did drinking them. As the evening went down, I watched Vivian and Richard make a quiet exit. Their designer outfits somehow looking cheaper than the uniforms of the staff they had looked down on hours earlier. The kind waiter from earlier approached, Mrs. Martinez. We found Mrs. Thompson's credit card. She tried to charge her car service to the room. I smiled. Add it to their bill. Consider it a lesson in humility, and the staff bonus you mentioned. Triple it. Dealing with the thumbsansel these years deserves hazard pay, later. As Emma and James departed for their honeymoon on my private jet, another detail that had made Richard's eye twitch, my daughter hugged me one last time. Mom, that comment about that person you dismissed today owning your company tomorrow. Yes, that was Thellison all along, wasn't it? Not just about revenge, but about treating Garion with respect, because you never know their full story. I kissed her cheek. That, and always read the fine print before signing over your company shares. Your father might want to remember that for tomorrow's meeting. As he watched their car disappear into the night, I couldn't help but smile. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just succeeding. It's succeeding so spectacularly that your enemies become footnotes in your empire's history. And Richard, he was about to become a very small footnote indeed. After all, I didn't build a billion-dollar empire by thinking.